Nine Flames Sovereign Chapter 23, Guide. The Yufeng mountain range is not big. Our 4 instructors will only train you for 7 days. After 7 days, you will enter the Yufeng mountain range. We will not follow. For the next 3 days, you need to train yourself and cut off part of the monster body. The family is so qualitative, the first level beasts have 1 point, and the second level beasts have 10 points. After coming out, they will be ranked according to their points. The top 3 will get a second level pill, and the last 7 will only get the first level pill. So, for these 7 days, you must follow our 4 instructors to distinguish the inner and outer boundaries of the Yufeng mountain range. Don't assume that the innermost part of the Yufeng mountain range is the inner periphery. Although it is true, there are many trees in the Yufeng mountain range, and some places can even completely shade the sun. Believe me, where you can't even tell the specific direction, how to distinguish between the inside and outside of the mountains, if you are not careful, you are completely likely to get dizzy and enter the mountains. With your strength, once you enter inside, all you have to wait for is death. By the way, you have to learn how to distinguish where the exit is, and how to remember where you have walked, otherwise you are likely to spin around in the mountains and lose your way. Instructor Lin said with a serious face, and all the teenagers seemed to have been affected, even Han Lin and Han Feng, who was also a little nervous. Han Feng looked at the tall trees in Yufeng Mountain. Somehow, in this hot summer, these trees looked gloomy, like a devouring monster. Han Feng didn't know that in this Yufeng mountain range, many mortal martial artists were indeed ruined. The 3 instructors Han Yongxing looked at all of this with interest, and laughed in a low voice. Every time, we are like this. I think we were so immature at the beginning, now. Hee hee. Linda and Fen Li both smiled. Their experience may be different from that of Han Feng and others, but they were both so naive at first. It was only after experiencing countless blood and battles that they transformed to the present level. Clapped hands, Instructor Lin coughed slightly and said, "Now, what do the 10 of you want to ask?" Han Lai immediately said, "Instructor, if we kill a level 3 monster, how many points will we earn?" Instructor Lin looked very strange, and then he cursed, "With your strength, you can deal with the second level monsters, and among the more powerful second level monsters, you can't win. It is estimated that only Han Lin has the power to fight. On your level, you still want to hunt level 3 monsters? Unless the sun comes out from the west." Han Lai was reprimanded by Instructor Lin, and he was slumped, with a slanderous expression. The first level monster is equivalent to the early stage of the mortal stage, the second level monster is already equivalent to the first 4 main veins of the middle stage, and the third level monster is equivalent to the 4 main veins of the middle stage. At least the strong who can get through the 5th main channel can compete. Outskirts of the Yufeng mountain range, a huge dappled tiger hides in the dark. He saw a group of people coming slowly, opening his mouth hungrily and drooling down. Roar! After the group of people approached, the piebald tiger jumped out and bit at the first person. But then, the piebald tiger showed a color of fear. In the piebald tiger's perception, the person headed suddenly exploded from the danger-free breath that made it palpitation. This breath can only be felt in the Yufeng mountain range. Dead. With a stern scream, the piebald tiger suffered a pain and flew upside down, no longer conscious. Instructor Lin chuckled, "Have you seen it? In the mountains, any beast will hide its traces to sneak attack, which is different from the beasts in the family for you to beat. If you are not careful, you will become the dung of the beast." The young people were still a little scared. At this moment, they were suddenly embarrassed, and they turned into the dung of Warcraft, which was too heavy. And Han Lin said solemnly, "Instructor, what level is this piebald tiger?" Although I didn't want to admit it, when this piebald tiger came out, they were really surprised by the ferocity of the piebald tiger. Han Feng's expression also changed slightly. This monster is really not easy. Compared with the attack of this monster, the previous competition between me and Cubo was like a child's play. Instructor Lin hummed, "Is it suffocated? Hey, this piebald tiger is just the bottom of the monsters, only the first level monsters. Even among the first level monsters, it is not superior." But at any rate the piebald tiger has grown to this point, and there are definitely a lot of fights on weekdays. It is normal for you to be shocked by the atmosphere. After all, you haven't seen blood. The first level monsters that the family trains you on weekdays have long lost their fighting spirit. The monsters in the family get the Yufeng mountain range, and within a month, they will become food for the monsters in the Yufeng mountain range. And feces. What is the first level? Han Lin and others exclaimed. The beast that this made them hold was only the first level. Han Lin and the others had a very ugly face, and the pride of the family elite was shattered by the blow at this time. Han Feng took a deep breath, and secretly said, I didn't get much better before. I have lived for so many years in my previous life. Immediately, Han Feng smiled bitterly. I was just an ordinary person in my previous life. I have never killed anyone. In this respect, I am indeed no different from Han Lin and the others. These 10 days of training must be overcome. Instructor Lin said at this time, now understand why you have to train you before participating in the trial. Reading www. Ukanshu.com. During the trial, I will also be in the Yufeng mountain range. Think about it. If you participate in the trial without training, the result will be everyone's complexion is even more ugly. By then, it is estimated that no more than half of 10 people will survive. Instructor Lin chuckled and said, go ahead. There are not many monsters in the Yufeng mountain range just now. It takes ordinary time to find a monster here. It will be easier to wait for some inside. Don't worry, you will have to fight against Warcraft. Everyone's expression stunned. Before everyone left, Instructor Lin walked to a tree, took out a dagger and made a crosswalk. Pointed at the sign, Instructor Lin said, do you know why this is? A group of little guys frowned and pondered. In this regard, Han Feng has lived for so many years in his previous life. How can he not know that he blurted out, this mark can let us know whether we have lost our way and walked back where we were. Han Feng said so. All the teenagers were also taken aback. Instructor Lin said, Han Feng, you actually know? Han Fengen smiled and said, I used to pester my father to tell me stories. Instructor Lin nodded, that's it. Thank you Zujinshan 2004 for the great rewards, and there are still a lot of them. I immediately became a deacon, occupying the first place on the fan list. Cabbage is very grateful. During the new book period, it is not easy to break out. Once it exceeds 150,000 words, it cannot be regarded as a new book. After it is released, you must remember that Cabbage owes you a more.